Hello and welcome to another episode of the Untold, the show all about great guests, untold stories, their journeys, and for today we have a very special guest. But before that, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Abdullah Hindiani.
I'm
with my
Marzouk
colleague-
Said.
Yeah, Marzouk Said. Let's
Hello,
talk about our
Abdullah.
guest today. Hello. Yeah, let's talk about a little bit about our guest today.
Yes,
Yeah.
our guest, he's someone like interested in and have a passion for personal training, for coaching. So if you are interested in learning about sport and getting into like the gym and you want to have that kind of special mindset, then today's episode will be definitely very important for you.
Yeah, and I think first let's actually say his name, he's Ali AlSalman.
AlSalman.
He's on a mission to peak, I think. And he's on a literal mission to peak, speaking about the peak of physiques, the peak of, fitness.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
And I hear that he has a lot of great wisdom.
Yeah, he has a lot of great wisdom. He's inspiring. He has so many great stories to
Mashallah.
tell. And I just can't wait to interview him and meet him.
Same here. So stay tuned. And welcome back, our dear viewers, to your favorite show, The Untold. And today with a special guest who's a personal trainer and fitness coach. Please welcome with me, Ali Salman.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Marzouk.
Definitely. How you doing, Ali, today?
All great. What about you guys?
Yeah, that was an enthusiastic welcoming.
Very
Do you guys know
so
each other? Or
Yes,
Yeah,
previously. We've met a couple of
Okay,
times.
yeah.
Yes, we've met a
I
couple
guess
of
we
times.
should start by saying, introduce yourself to us.
Oh, sure. So, I'm a personal trainer.
Yeah.
I do have a mission for people to reach their peakest levels of fitness. That's what I'm really striving for on a very daily basis.
That's really amazing. Sometimes when I hear about like fitness coach, okay, sometimes they are inspired by maybe like a member of their family, someone in their family, they've been like an athlete before. So was there anyone who inspired you?
Yes. They're really close friends of mine.
Okay.
There are three persons. Each one has a very special story. I'm going to tell a summary of each. The first one is the first Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coach, Jarrah Al-Hazza. He's a really great person. And his co-worker also, Saleh Al-Mayas. And of course, the coach, the mentor, the one that taught me everything regarding bodybuilding and has really standed by my back. IVB Pro, he's a pro-level physique competitor, Haider Mahdi. I love this guy, man.
Shout out to all these great people.
Thank you
So
so
are
much.
these people the ones that brought you into this kind of sport? Or how did you start into this?
Okay, I was really passionate by myself.
Yeah.
So when I was 16, I got really tired from the lifestyle I was living. So I was
At 16, that's
Yes.
a very mature, kind of ideas for that kind of
Exactly.
young age. Yeah.
It is. So I was watching Rocky Balboa and eating chips as a snack.
Okay.
So then I was like, I'm really fed of this life. I'm going to go to the gym, train. Afterwards, life really changed with me. I got really obsessed about bodybuilding and fitness, and it became a lifestyle that I do really enjoy in every single aspect. I do really enjoy it. And
That's
I chose
really
it
awesome.
as a
I
path.
remember
to
like
life.
when I was 16, and even earlier before that, maybe you can relate to that as well. We used to watch like WWE, like in the show.
Yeah.
And some of us get inspired to be like, big and strong. Like, did that also like affected you in some way?
Yes. So me and a couple of friends, we used to sit like literally every day after school to watch WWE, and we got crazy about it. Even when the show finished, we used to wrestle each other. So yeah.
I used to do it
Everyone,
with my brother.
absolutely.
We also used to have the belt, and we used to.
We used to
wrestle
have it. Yeah.
Who's your favorite wrestler?
The Rock.
The Rock.
Yes,
Not John
absolutely.
Cena.
Absolutely.
You can see me.
No. I don't like him so much.
So I think going back to being fitness, and I
Mm-hmm.
think the thing about wrestling in particular, because even my cousins, when we were at that age, we were seeing wrestling, and now they are, I wouldn't say professional bodybuilders, but they are advocate for bodybuilding.
Yes.
Is that people don't realize how much seeing those kind of peak physiques
Mm-hmm.
influence you, especially in your lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because so we really do set them as role models,
Yeah.
When you see like your famous wrestler, John Cena or whatever, the wrestler, you get really influenced by those guys. It's in a non-obvious way. You think if you're going to get jacked or build muscle, you're going to wrestle, but it's not that way.
Yeah.
But it's really symbols the very good symbol of power.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Sometimes like people have misconception about bodybuilding. Maybe you heard about it, which is kind of like if you take that path, maybe you are taking some injections, stuff like that. So do you think it's something common?
It is, yes. If you do want to compete on a very professional level, of course, you cannot really compete without using PEDs, performance enhancing drugs. You cannot do that. But there is some shows for natural bodybuilders and some people who are non-PED users
Yeah.
and really reached great physiques by applying modern science concepts, by applying the latest nutrition concepts, hiring the best coaches, and there are many professional people to help people.
And I think like having the right mindset.
Of course.
So talking about that, what kind of mindset that Ali practice?
Okay, the mindset that I do really practice is, if it's not like a mindset, it has to be like something really deep rooted inside of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you know the quote that says, if you have a will, you have a power.
There-
I
yeah.
love that.
Yes.
There's a will, there's a power.
If there's
Yeah.
a will, there's a power. Of course, you have to have an utmost goal, a very higher goal you do want to reach, that you do aspire every single day.
So let's talk a little bit about that and how goals change. Like, let's take you, Ali, at 16 years old.
Yes.
What was the goal then? What is the goal now?
Well, the goal then, it was very simple. It started that I do want to change my body shape in a very minor way. Then it became like an obsession. I was like, okay, if I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week, why not make the best of it?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I got hooked in it. And I realized very soon that I do want to become a personal trainer and a fitness coach.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like very early.
Very early, yes, I knew that.
And I think a lot of people don't realize that the way they see fitness is that they think of it as a hard way. But once it becomes a lifestyle, once it becomes routine, it becomes so much easy to keep it up with.
Absolutely. It doesn't take an hour.
Yeah.
You could do like literally, I've got many people that I'm really glad helping them. So it's 30 minutes per day,
Yeah.
at least. You
That's
can do
really
even 15.
Definitely.
Yeah. And yeah. Go.
Okay, small tiny changes is way better than nothing.
Exactly. Like
Yes.
small drops of water will lead to the jar to be
A
full.
fuller cup. Fuller cup.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Sometimes like when you be like obsessed in that kind of passion,
Mm-hmm.
you want to share that knowledge with everyone. Did you thought of like creating maybe like social media account, like some videos on social media?
Previously, I was little afraid of the idea itself.
Okay.
And then I was like, if you do have the passion, you have to share it with the world. And this is what I'm doing now, and I'm really proud of it.
I think, for all content creators and people who try to aspire other people like yourself, social media is a necessary evil.
It is.
Yeah, especially in today's day and age.
Absolutely.
What
Absolutely.
I like about him, like he's throwing some wisdom, some quotes. Like if you have that passion, you have to spread
Yeah.
it out.
Absolutely.
Because like he
amazing.
said, it's all about mindset.
Exactly.
Going to the gym, working out, that's the easy part. Having the right mindset to get out of the house. I think
Totally
that's
agree.
where
It
the
is.
tough part
It is. And then until it becomes an obsession, nothing really matters. It becomes like an automatic response. You wake up, you eat your first meal or two,
Yeah.
and then it becomes an obligation. You do have to work out.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think some viewers who are watching us right now, they think success is kind of short way. Of course, there was some obstacles in the way. So how do you deal with failures, with obstacles in general?
Yes. So regarding the obstacles and failures, you try to not beat yourself as much as possible. Every road, every path is not a straight way. It has some
Zigzag.
Yeah.
zigzag. It's like a zigzag road, absolutely. But until you realize that the struggle is part of the story.
Yeah.
The struggle part of the story.
Yes, the struggle is part of the story.
Wonderful.
And in your opinion of working with so many people and inspiring them, what is the most thing they struggle with in terms of fitness journeys?
Mostly their daily habits.
Oh.
Most of their daily habits. People either undereat or overeat, and mostly people are chronically sleep deprived.
Yeah.
This is the thing that I'm realizing around my circumstances and the people that I do know, and even that with people that approach me.
Sometimes I
by
have
DMs.
like a misconception that cheat day is like when you have a cheat day, it means like you have to eat everything. So is that kind of correct?
No, you don't have to go crazy.
Yeah.
Or order all kind of pizzas and burgers. You cannot do that. But
In moderation.
in moderation, yes, you can maintain a very healthy lifestyle, and have like one cheat meal every 2 weeks.
Yes.
You can go even every single week if you push yourself really hard at the gym. You can do it easily.
As long as you put the work in.
Yes, it's a lifestyle. Why not eat 80% clean, 20% the foods that you love?
Like
Yeah.
junk.
Yeah.
And I think I'm not sure if you know about Jeff Cavalier.
Yes.
So Athlete X.
Athlete
I
X.
remember him one time saying when talking about routine schedules, he was asked like, "What is the best routine schedule?" And he says, "The one that you can stick with.
Absolutely.
It's not the most optimal, the most perfect. It's the one that you can
Absolutely.
make yourself go to." Yeah.
But sometimes it's kind of crazy. Like you see some influencers or maybe like some motivation speakers. They be like, "Wake up on 4. I only sleep like 4 hours a day. You know.
Yeah.
I'm very dedicated. I'm very hardworking."
Absolutely. Those guys only last for a month or a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those guys are not real.
Not real.
Those guys are not real.
So you see it. Like you can sleep for 8 hours and it's totally fine.
Absolutely. You need sleep.
You need
It's
sleep.
very necessary. It's an obligation for you.
How's important for bodybuilder?
For bodybuilding, as a natural athlete, it's very vital for testosterone levels. Optimal state of mind, better recovery. You cannot recover even if using PEDs, performance enhancing drugs, without perfect amount of sleep.
Because I think I read somewhere, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that when you're sleeping is where the muscle is actually building.
Absolutely.
It's not in the gym.
Absolutely.
The gym, you break it.
Exactly.
You know?
And even your like day kind of change, you know. If you don't have enough sleep, you're gonna wake up like tired. You
For
don't-
me,
you don't feel it.
I skip gym sessions if I don't sleep. I skip them.
And would you say a large misconception about bodybuilding and fitness is that people underestimate the importance of sleep and eating?
Yes.
Because I see a lot of my friends who are at the gym for years, and then they go like, "Oh, I eat whatever I want. I don't sleep," and then their bodies are the same,
Exactly.
even though they have a consistent regimen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because people are really no one wants to take the time and put the effort to do just a tiny bit of research. You could
Yeah.
go on Google. Everything is out there.
Yeah.
Everything, even professional courses you could get with a very tiny amount of money. But people mostly they don't care that they're not really hungry for it. So what's the easiest path? Is I'm gonna listen to a friend that really listen to another friend that listens, and the cycle continues.
Yeah.
And maybe the first original person has very wrong thoughts about fitness and
Sometimes like when you go to the gym and you see like someone who's jacked up, you know,
yeah.
you be like, okay, he's maybe like the best coach ever, and then you take whatever advice that he give it to you.
Absolutely not. The first top coach now in the world, the one that coaches top Mr. Olympians, he's not even fit.
Not even fit.
He's not even fit. It's all about the knowledge and application, trial and error. If you have the knowledge, you have the exact dedication, trial and error. You've tried something, you've experimented on people, it is going to work.
Yeah, and I think we're lucky that we are in a time where science and bodybuilding and fitness have kind of
Collaborate.
fused. Yeah, they collaborate into each other.
Absolutely.
So now one kind of advocate for the other.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
And would you say, having science-based fitness routines is the way to go, or is that too much of a complicated kind of structure?
I'm going to talk about based on my own experience.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are some fundamentals that has to be science-based, but the best thing is you can get through expertise. As an example, science-based will tell you, the minimum amount of sets per week is like, as an example, 6 to 12.
Yeah.
Or whatever the science.
Which is like 2 workouts maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. If you do an actual 6 sets per week and you go and try to reach muscle failure, they're going to become so much. So application plays a very big vital role when deciding what is the right approach. You have to try it by yourself.
And test the information, whatever it is.
Absolutely. What might work on you, Marzouk, it might not work on me.
Yeah.
It's like the famous saying that we have, اسأل مجرب ويتسأل طبيب.
Absolutely.
Ask
Yeah.
someone who's expertise, but
And
not
do not ask a doctor.
Yeah. Never ask a doctor.
Never ask a doctor.
Never ask a
About
doctor.
bodybuilding?
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. And and let's go back to, before we bash even more doctors.
Yeah.
So let's go back to your philosophy. And I want to learn more about, when did bodybuilding turn into a major role in your life?
Yeah.
Like, I think you started as a hobby, as we all do, but at some point you're like, okay, this is real. This is something that's important now.
Absolutely. So, as I told you previously, the very few years, the first very few, the couple of years, it was like just a very small goal to change my body. Afterwards, when I got really obsessed, I've seen people to compete, and genetics also play a very good factor.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, when I've seen results, I was like, no, I have to take this thing very seriously.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that's a very good note to kind of leave the show on a break before you go back, is that, test it, test yourself, see your limit, and see what works for you, see what doesn't work for you.
Absolutely.
And just, basically test yourself, test all of your knowledge.
Yes.
And, with that, we're going to continue this interview, but we're going to go on a short break and we'll come right back.
Don't leave, because we're going to have something very exciting and deep conversation. Stay tuned. And we are back with AlSalman. Welcome, Ali.
Thank you, bro.
Ali, sometimes people underestimate the habit, the daily habit they take, like the small process.
Yeah.
How is it important for people?
Well, I've came to a conclusion by trial and error that daily habits really shape your reality. You are the habits that you're stacking. You're the habits you're not doing. Every single reality, your days goes. What really determines how the day goes, if it's good or not, but the daily habits you're doing. What
Daily
do you
habits.
do when you first wake up? What do you do before you sleep? Every single bit.
And speaking about daily habits, what would you or how would you rank them? Like from say the most important to the least to the least. Like what kind of habits would someone develop before or after they go into their fitness journey?
Okay. So if I was my previous self before joining to the gym, I'd really master sleep.
Yeah.
Try to clean up my nutrition as much as possible.
Prepare some meals.
Absolutely. And to try to distinguish myself from social media.
Because like kind of distraction.
Consumption. Absolutely. It's a very, very destructive tool.
Once you see like a video, you're gonna see the second video, the third, and then
Many
after
hours.
2 hours, like you've been spending maybe like 5 or 6.
Absolutely. Some people I know have very crazy screen times. I know a guy has a 12-hour screen
12
time.
hours.
Yes.
And it's also, speaking about distancing yourself from social media because they are very deceiving, especially for fitness gurus.
Oh, yeah.
Because sometimes you see a lot of people and they look, shredded
Shredded.
24/7,
Yes.
but they're actually taking all those pictures in 1 or 2 months and then they spend the rest of the year.
Yes.
But people go to the gym for so many times, they don't reach those same conclusions and then they're like, okay, this isn't for me.
I'm gonna give it up.
Yeah, they quickly give it up.
Yes, because as you told, it's not realistic.
Yeah.
The pictures they're posting, that's definitely not the shape they're staying year round. That's nearly impossible. So people unfortunately get influenced by those guys, and really self-compare to them.
Yeah.
And the self-comparison is the thief of joy. If you do want to do it only for yourself.
Yeah.
I don't want to be seen very motivational, but it's really, when it comes down, it's only you versus you. There's no one else. No one really cares if you're in a good shape and you're in a bad shape. If you're gonna do it, you do it for your future. You do it when you really do age.
Yeah.
You do it for yourself.
Yeah, and I think you said it, perfectly, is that this sport is one of the few that it's actually you versus you.
Yes.
The only hurdle, the only stepping stone in front of you is you and your own, obstacles.
Absolutely. No one's gonna care if you bench 100 or 200 or even a 10. No one really cares. If you do it, and applaud. It's just for yourself,
I mean, like even a small anecdote I read, The Rock, I think you've mentioned him before.
Yes.
He's like one of the most jacked people of all time.
Absolutely.
Sometimes he releases his workout videos, and if you go to the comments, people are all like, "Oh, The Rock weighs 300 pounds, and this is how much you lift," because they think it equals, and it's not. It's all about breaking the muscle and how many ways you want.
And also, like you mentioned, genetics play an important role.
The most
factor.
important role is genetics.
Definitely.
Then PEDs. After else, the whole list: nutrition, training, workouts.
And since we are talking about like people and fitness, tell us about some experience for you with your clients.
Yes. Okay. So I have a different age group of clients.
Okay.
Yeah.
Teenagers and even at their late 30s and beginning of the 40s. I have, alhamdulillah, a variety of people.
Yeah.
And you can see the different mindsets between people, Some people, they don't want to change. They just need someone with them.
Yeah.
And that really saddens me. I try to push them to be the best version of themselves, but as a coach, you could design the perfect workout plan. You could design the perfect nutrition plan, but you cannot go to the gym instead of someone.
And do the workout instead
You
of
cannot
them.
do the workout instead of him. Some people, maybe they can pay extra and they need you to work out instead of them. So I was like, no, I cannot do everything. I could inspire you. Yes. So what I really concluded, there's a skill. Everyone has to obtain it, is to be as coachable as possible.
Yeah.
As coachable
As possible. Not even in fitness, in life in general. Whatever the thing you're into,
Okay.
you have to be coachable.
Yeah.
Like you mean like ready to receive the lessons.
Exactly, like a sponge. Just absorb.
They say like a famous saying, I think like when the student's ready, the teacher will show up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think, we should hone in on that because you are full of wisdom today.
Thank
And,
you so much.
you say that you're an online coach or giving online instructions and everything.
Yes.
I want to talk about Mission to Peak,
Yes.
which is your social media handle.
Yes, proudly.
Talk me through that. Like, where did the name come from?
Well, the name, when I really started my Instagram page, I was like, what's name to write? Coach Ali, Peak by... what is it? What is it I do really want? So I was like,
Fitness model, Ali.
hey, fitness model, Ali.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't want to model. I do want to really inspire people to reach their peakest level of
Definitely.
performance.
Since you have like, mashallah, all this wisdom.
Because
Thank
change
you
comes
so
from
much.
inside.
From inside.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, khalas, that's the idea. It's a mission to peak. Everyone who's gonna follow this channel, he's on a mission to peak. We're all gonna peak together. It's like a movement.
Yeah.
We're gonna peak in terms of lifestyle. We're gonna peak in terms of confidence. We're gonna peak in terms of every single aspect. We're not gonna be perfect. Nothing is perfect, but we try our best to be as natural and the most exciting way we could do the things that we love on a daily basis. That's my ultimate goal.
And I think your approach to fitness is very, I wouldn't say creative, but it's very unique. Because I think you're one of the few people who I've seen about fitness who talks about the mindset, who talks about the inner person first, before even like the workouts, before even talking about the gym.
Absolutely.
How did that come from? Like,
Well, I used to be in that place. I wasn't really a very dedicated person, to be honest. So I was like, okay, I do have the workout plan. I do have the nutrition plan. But I'm going to the gym only twice a week. There's something wrong. Okay, this is something really inside of you. And once you try to fix that, everything follows up. So I decided to take a very holistic approach through the account with my clients that I work with. You can come, fix your sleep. What do you eat? What kind of drinks? How do you snack? Every single aspect. Sometimes we go outside of fitness as your daily life. What kind of relationship struggles do you have?
In terms of relationship, like, how do you balance between this kind of hard routine and also like having, your like normal routine between like gym and between like the daily basis?
yeah, because a lot of
activities you
people
do?
say, oh, I'm too busy. I don't have time for the gym.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, alhamdulillah, after launching the account, I became a busy person.
Yeah.
Okay, to say. But you have to have a set of priorities. So
Yeah.
for me, yes, the golden priority of the day is for me to work out. The golden priority.
Number one.
Number one.
Yeah.
Numero uno. That's the yes.
Yeah.
That's the top priority that I do have.
See.
Absolutely. So yeah, then afterwards, everything can follow up. You have to have something very obligatory for you. For me, it's the gym. For you, maybe it could be like practicing any hobby.
Right.
Once you put it at the very first of your day, it's gonna become very hard to break up this
Yeah.
habit.
Wonderful.
Yes.
And I think you put it beautifully is that when you said, because this is such a you versus you kind of sport, it's really translate to other aspects. Like for your job, for your aspirations, for your goals.
Absolutely.
It's all you versus you.
Yes.
Yeah.
He mentioned a great key factor that priorities plays a vital role. So, ladies and gentlemen, what is your priority? And are you living to your priority or not?
Yes.
And I wanted to speak about goals, more specifically future goals.
Yes.
Because right now I think you've reached the goals you aspire to, but what's next?
Okay, so there are two main goals that I'm really thinking of, and inshallah will apply as soon as possible. First is to really make the account go viral in a positive way,
Yeah.
in a very positive way. It doesn't really matter that it has to go viral as much that it really inspires people. That's the most important thing. I don't care if I have 1 million followers or even 10 followers. If the 10 gets really inspired, I'm really happy. If I've got 1 million and no one is inspired and I'm scamming them,
Yeah.
that's going to become a very huge problem.
Sometimes you could inspire like just one person, but this one person gonna inspire like a large group of people.
Yeah.
Of course.
Because
The cycle will grow.
Yeah, because the numbers of social media have kind of skewed our perception. Because even those 10 people is 10 lives. You know, so- yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And today, like in social media, it's kind of delusion. You see like people with a lot of followers, but they are actually paid, like not real.
Yes.
And then when you compare yourself, you think like you're not doing very well, but you are doing the best.
Never compare. Never
Yeah.
compare to
Like
someone
you
else.
said, it's the
The thief of joy.
The thief of joy,
Of
yeah.
course, you're not gonna focus. You're gonna get so much distracted.
Yeah.
Every single aspect in terms of followers, in terms of your fitness journey. Everyone is different. You've got a different lifestyle. I've got a
Yeah.
different lifestyle. You've got different priorities. You have different priorities. Everyone really have his own thing. You cannot even compare. It's not even fair to compare.
yeah.
It's not even fair to compare.
And so, how would you define success now and success even before you reach this point?
Well, for me, even small wins, I can call them success.
Yeah.
Previously, even when you know what, even when I started the account itself, when I really wrote the name, that's a success for me.
Yeah, because the first step is the hardest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a capstone, you know?
Yeah.
You put the first stone and then you build over. Every single step is a success.
Yeah, and speaking about, kind of steps to success, what would you say were your steps to success?
My steps to success. Yeah. To do the thing that you do love to do no matter what. Never listen to anyone. Never, 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 never. You can get good feedback, you're gonna get negative feedback. Then there are some certain people who's gonna try their best, and believe me when I do that, even sometimes they become very close people, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They're gonna do their best to break you up mentally.
Definitely.
They're
And
gonna
you
do
need
their
to stay
best.
away from them. And you remind me actually like on one of the quotes that says, do the things that few people are willing to do, so you can end up having the things that a lot of people
Never
can
have. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So in that terms, what kind of define today Coach Ali from like the rest of personal trainers?
Okay. So, as I told you, my approach, I try my best to take a holistic approach. I don't see the client or the follower just as a gym member. No, I see him the first thing as a human being. This is the most important factor. If I could bench 20 kilos, he doesn't have to bench 20 kilos. He came for me for a reason. And I'm going to give him this reason why he came to me. I take a very unique approach. I try my best to keep his health as healthy as possible. Even if they're taking PEDs with me, I make sure, I try my best and to make sure that health is the top of priority. I don't care if you look great and shredded, but your health markers are really messed up. I don't care. There is life after bodybuilding. There's life after fitness.
Sure. So it's not just about like showing off like, hey, this is my client and he got like this.
No,
such
I
and such
could
of
do
medals.
that easy. You know, everyone can be a perfect coach nowadays. There's this magic combo. You give them PDs, make them eat 1,500 calories, go do cardio for 40 minutes, and trust me, you're gonna be stage ready.
Yeah. So I think with all of that, unfortunately, we've reached the end of our episode. But I do have one last question. Is that the final message you want to get through to your audiences tonight?
The final message I do want to give the audience. Okay, it's like an inspiration, a quote that I do live by. You know, there is a famous quote by a famous Romanian emperor, Marcus Aurelius. He said once that
My favorite.
my man. He said, it's a shame for a man to grow up old and reach the end of his life and never test how capable is he of reaching his peakest strength.
And I think everyone has a mission to reach the peak. And if you want to take that mission, we have a great leader, Ali
So much.
Salman.
Thank you so
It
much.
was really a great pleasure to have
I
you.
really enjoyed you guys. Thank
We
you.
really
so much
loved
for
it with all this
It was very
awesome
enlightening, yeah.
wisdom and all this awesome like stories and everything.
Thank you so much. You guys are the
You
best.
nailed it.
You two guys. You're the best guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Until next time, stay tuned, work on your passion, and stay fit. See you later. Isn't that amazing? Sometimes we see people who are interested in passion about sport, but their knowledge in sport. And sometimes we see people who are knowledgeable, but away from sport. But mashallah, Ali Salman, he combined both worlds.
Yeah, and I think the most fun thing, or I'd say the most enjoyable thing about today's interview is that he was so talking about mindset. And I think that really caught me off guard. You know, the emphasis on having the great mentality and how your fitness journey starts within.
Exactly.
I think, yeah, coming for today's episode, I thought it's going to be more about like, this gym workout, this kind of exercise.
Nutrition.
Yeah, but then no, it was all about mindset. It was all about mentalities, all about how you approach that kind of lifestyle. It was
Definitely.
really, enlightening.
Yes, because the character that you build will help you. Also, like the habits you're going to take will help you last to the end of the journey so you can reach the mission to peak.
Yeah, and I think speaking about end of the journey, this is the end of the Untold for today's episode. It was a great time. We had a great and lovely time with Ali Salman.
Yes.
That was all from Abdullah Al-Hindiani
And Marzoui Said, see you later and work on your passion.